Ever wonder what love looked like in the Viking Age? Think brutal battles and raw passion collided in rituals that make your jaw drop. We're plunging into the heart of the Norse world from 793 to 1066 CE, where sex wasn't just personal, it was power, faith, and survival. From sacred rites to scandalous customs, these practices shaped a fierce culture. Could you handle their untamed world? Tell us in the comments which country and city you're watching from. If you love your awesome country, shout it out below. Subscribe now. I'm dropping tons of secret stories like this on this channel. Number 1. Sacred marriage rites. Imagine a Viking chieftain sweat-soaked from battle, standing in a torch-lit Uppsala temple, pledging his soul to a goddess. The Volushpa in the Poetic Edda describes heroes gamos, sacred marriage rites, where leaders wedded divine spirits to bless their clans. Picture a ceremonial union under a blood-red sky, where a priestess embodying Freya, goddess of love, sealed bonds with ritual intimacy. This wasn't just romance, it was a cosmic deal for fertility and victory. The Oseberg burial's ritual artifacts, like carved beds, hint at these steamy ceremonies. Performed publicly, they shocked even Norse locals. Would you join a divine wedding that doubled as a power grab? Viking scholar Neil Price notes these rites tied sex to sovereignty, ensuring clan prosperity. A bad ceremony could doom harvests. Talk about pressure. Imagine Tinder, but your match decides your tribe's fate. These rites weren't private affairs. The Heimskringala chronicles King Olaf Tryggvason witnessing an Uppsala rite where participants believed intimacy with a priestess channeled divine favor. Crowds chanted as the act unfolded, blending lust with loyalty to the gods. Runestones from Gotland show inscriptions honoring such unions, proving their cultural weight. Men and women alike risked their status for this honor, as a failed rite could brand you cursed. Judith Yesh says these ceremonies empowered women as divine conduits, flipping Viking gender norms. Picture the stakes. One night of sacred passion could secure your legacy or spark divine wrath. Could you handle the spotlight of a god-tier hookup? This practice wasn't just spicy, it was a high-stakes gamble for Viking survival. The catch? These rites invited chaos. A misstep in the ritual, like offending Freya, could curse the clan with famine. The Gesta Danorum recounts a chieftain shamed for a botched rite, losing his throne. Archaeological finds like Uppsala's temple relics show offerings tied to these ceremonies, hinting at their intensity. Price emphasizes their role in binding communities through shared belief in divine intimacy. Imagine a wedding where failure means exile, or worse. This custom reveals Viking love as a public spectacle, where sex wasn't just pleasure, but a pact with the gods. Would you risk it all for one sacred night? Comment if this divine drama blew your mind. Number 2. Trial marriages. Picture a Viking longhouse, smoky and loud, where a young warrior tests his bride before committing. The Laxdæla saga details trial marriages where couples live together for up to 3 years to ensure compatibility. Think Viking-style dating apps, but with axes. No formal vows, just raw cohabitation to test love and loyalty. If it didn't work, either could walk away, no strings attached. Birka's grave goods, like paired jewelry, suggest temporary unions were common. This wasn't casual dating, it was a calculated move to avoid weak heirs. Could you handle a relationship with an exit clause? Neil Price notes trial marriages balanced passion with pragmatism, securing strong bloodlines. Imagine breaking up with a warlord's daughter. Good luck. These trials were intense. The Grogos laws allowed either partner to end the arrangement if the match failed, but pride was on the line. Imagine a warrior proving his worth in bed and battle, knowing his lover could ditch him publicly. Runestones from Denmark mention women leaving trial unions, reclaiming dowries with zero shame. Yesh highlights how this empowered women to control their futures, rare for the era. No love? No problem, just leave. But a bad split could spark feuds, as clans took breakups personally. Think of it as a reality show where dumping someone might mean dodging a spear. Could you survive this Viking love test? It was freedom with a side of danger. The stakes were sky high. A failed trial marriage could tarnish reputations, especially if kids were involved. The Erbygja saga tells of a warrior shunned after his trial partner left, his honor in tatters. Archaeological evidence, like shared burial plots, shows some trials led to lasting bonds, others to bitter splits. Price says these customs reflected Viking pragmatism. Love had to serve the clan. Imagine a breakup where your ex's family raids your village. This practice shows Vikings treated love like strategy, not sentiment. Would you sign up for a no-commitment Viking fling? Drop a comment if this custom sounds like a wild ride. Number 3. Ritual concubinage. Ever heard of a Viking side hustle in love? The Ynglinga saga reveals ritual concubinage, where powerful men took concubines to forge alliances. Picture a jarl in a Norwegian fjord, binding clans by sharing his bed with a rival's sister. These weren't just flings. Concubines held status, their kids often legit heirs. Gotland's hoards with mixed clan artifacts suggest these unions sealed peace deals. This was politics, Viking style. Sex as diplomacy. Could you share your partner for peace? Judith Jesh notes concubines wielded influence, negotiating power through intimacy. Think of it as a medieval prenup with higher stakes. One misstep and alliances crumbled. This custom was a masterclass in bedroom politics. Could you juggle love and loyalty under that pressure? This wasn't cheating, it was a calculated move to keep the peace or claim power. The Vikings played the long game, and it was intense, but drama was inevitable. A jealous wife or slighted concubine could ignite feuds, as the Njal saga recounts, with a concubine's betrayal triggering a bloodbath. Archaeological finds, like dual burials, show concubines' high status, yet their role invites risks. Jesh emphasizes their agency. Some became de facto queens. Imagine a side partner outranking the main one in influence. This custom reveals Viking love as a battlefield, where passion forged empires or burned them down. Would you take the risk for power? Comment if this political love game shocked you. It's proof Vikings turned bedrooms into war rooms, with stakes higher than any modern scandal. These Viking practices, sacred rites, trial marriages, concubinage, reveal a world where love was power, risk, and divine will. But darker secrets await, from taboo rituals to shocking betrayals that'd make today's dramas blush. Which custom blew your mind? Drop your thoughts below and stay tuned for more. Think Viking love couldn't get wilder? These rituals will leave you speechless. Number 4. Blood-bound fertility rituals. Imagine a Viking couple, desperate for a child, standing in a moonlit grove, their hands stained with sacrificial blood. The poetic Edda's Havamal describes fertility rituals where couples offered blood to Freya, goddess of love, to ensure heirs. Picture a shaman slicing a ram's throat, its blood pooling as chants echoed. This wasn't just prayer, it was a raw, primal plea for life. Gotland's runestones, etched with fertility symbols, confirmed these rites were widespread. Couples believed blood tied them to divine favor, securing strong offspring. Could you spill blood for a legacy? Neil Price says these rituals fused sex, sacrifice, and survival, making every ceremony a high-stakes gamble. Think of it as a Viking fertility clinic, but with knives and gods. The intensity was unreal. The Volsunga saga recounts couples sharing blood-soaked vows, their intimacy blessed under Freya's gaze. These rituals often involved public acts, with clans watching to ensure divine approval. Archaeological finds like Uppsala's sacrificial knives show blood was central to Viking fertility. Price notes women led these rites, wielding power as Freya's proxies. A failed ritual could brand a couple cursed, risking exile. Imagine bearing your soul and more in front of your village, knowing failure meant shame. This wasn't just about babies, it was about clan survival. Could you face that pressure for a child? These rituals turned love into a bloody pact, where passion met divine demands. It's a drama no modern soap opera could match, but the risks were brutal.
A botched sacrifice, like spilling too little blood, could anger Freya, dooming the couple. The Gesta Danorum tells of a chieftain shunned after a failed ritual, his lineage mocked. Hedebe's bone carvings depict fertility rites, proving their cultural weight. Judith Jesh says these ceremonies empowered women but invited scrutiny. Every move judged. Picture a couple's desperate act under flickering torches, their future hinging on divine whim. This custom shows Vikings saw love as a battlefield where blood sealed bonds or broke them. Would you risk a cursed legacy? Comment if this bloody ritual shocked you. It's proof Viking romance was as fierce as their raids. Number 5. Divorce by combat. Ever think a breakup could end in a duel? Viking women could demand divorce through combat, proving their strength. The Gragas laws allowed women to challenge husbands in ritual fights to end marriages. Picture a shield maiden, sword in hand, facing her husband in a snowy clearing. This wasn't just a split, it was a public power move. Birka's warrior graves with female skeletons clutching weapons suggest women trained for such trials. Could you fight for your freedom? Judith Jesh says this custom gave women rare agency, letting them ditch bad husbands. Think of it as a Viking divorce court, but with blades instead of lawyers. One swing could change your fate or end it. These duels were no joke. The Eyrbyggja saga describes a woman, Gudrun, winning her divorce by wounding her husband, earning clan respect. Combat wasn't always lethal. Disarming or first blood often settled it. Runestones from Denmark honor women who fought, their names etched as victors. Jesh notes men risked humiliation losing to wives, making every duel a spectacle. Imagine facing your spouse in a ring, your honor on the line. A loss could mean exile or worse. Could you swing a sword to walk away? This practice wasn't just divorce, it was empowerment, Viking style. It turned breakups into battles where love ended with steel, not tears. The fallout was intense. A husband's defeat could spark clan feuds, as the Njal saga recounts a divorce duel igniting a bloodbath. Archaeological evidence, like scarred weapons in female burials, shows women prepared for these fights. Price says this custom reflected Viking pragmatism. Weak marriages hurt the clan. Picture a woman's victory cheered by her kin, her ex shamed. This wasn't just a breakup, it was a public statement. Imagine dumping someone and proving you're tougher. Would you duel for your freedom? Drop a comment if this fierce custom blew your mind. Vikings turned divorce into a warrior's game, where love ended with steel, not tears. Number 6. Slave seduction pacts. Imagine a Viking jarl eyeing a slave, striking a deal for freedom through seduction. The Rigsthula in the Poetic Edda hints at pacts where slaves gain status through intimate alliances with their masters. Picture a smoky longhouse, a slave whispering promises to secure her release. This wasn't just lust, it was a calculated climb. Roskild's artifacts, like inscribed collars, suggest slaves used these pacts strategically. Could you bargain your way to freedom? Neil Price says these arrangements blurred power lines, with slaves sometimes outranking freeborn. Think of it as a Viking power play where the bedroom was a battlefield. One pact could rewrite your life or trap you forever. These pacts were complex. The Heimskringla recounts a slave, Thora, becoming a jarl's confidant through seduction, her children rising to power. Slaves, often war captives, used charm to escape servitude, but failure risked punishment. Gotland's runestones mention freed slaves as concubines, proving their success. Price notes women navigated these deals with cunning, turning desire into leverage. Imagine risking everything on a whispered promise, knowing betrayal could mean chains. Could you play that game? This wasn't just seduction, it was survival, where slaves flipped the script on power. Vikings saw love as a transaction, where passion could buy freedom or spark betrayal. It's a hustle modern influencers would envy. The risks were massive. A failed pact could lead to punishment or death, as the Laxdæla saga describes a slave executed for overstepping. Archaeological finds, like shackles in Hedeby, show the stakes for slaves. Jesh says these pacts empowered some women, but endangered others, depending on the master's whim. Picture a slave's gamble in a candlelit hall, her future hinging on charm. This custom reveals Viking love as a power struggle, where seduction was a ladder or a noose. Would you risk it all for freedom? Comment if this daring pact stunned you. Vikings turned desire into deals, making every whisper a high-stakes move. These rituals, blood sacrifices, combat divorces, seduction pacts, show Viking love was raw, risky, and revolutionary. Wilder secrets lurk ahead, where passion meets peril in ways that'll shock you. Which practice stunned you most? Share below and brace for more. Ready for Viking love's darkest secrets? These rituals will haunt your dreams. Number 7. Ritualized adultery for power. Picture a Viking chieftain's wife, eyes blazing, seducing a rival to secure her clan's dominance. The Njál's saga reveals ritualized adultery, where women slept with enemies to manipulate alliances. Imagine a smoky hall, a woman whispering secrets post-tryst, her husband complicit. This wasn't betrayal, it was strategy. Gotland's runestones, inscribed with cryptic lovers' marks, hint at these calculated affairs. Adultery, when ritualized, turned bedrooms into war rooms. Could you seduce for power? Neil Price says these acts were sanctioned for clan gain, with women as masterminds. Think of it as a Viking espionage flick, where passion was a weapon. One wrong move, and blood would spill. These affairs were high-stakes chess. The Heimskringla recounts Thora, a chieftain's wife, betting a rival to sway a truce, her clan thriving. Women planned these trysts with precision, risking death if exposed. Birka's jewelry caches, gifted to lovers, show the wealth at play. Judith Jesh notes women held sway, using intimacy to shift power dynamics. Picture a clandestine meeting under starlight, every whisper a calculated risk. Failure meant feuds, success meant empires. Could you keep your cool in such a game? This wasn't cheating. It was a bold power grab, sanctioned by Viking pragmatism. These women weren't just lovers, they were political geniuses, rewriting destinies with every secret rendezvous. The fallout could be catastrophic. A misjudged affair, as the Gesta Danorum tells, sparked a clan war when a lover turned traitor. Archaeological finds like defaced runestones show shamed families erasing adulterous kin. Price says these rituals balanced power and peril, with women navigating deadly stakes. Imagine a wife's affair saving her clan or dooming it. This custom shows Viking love as a strategic battlefield, where passion forged alliances or ignited chaos. Would you dare seduce to save your people? Comment if this cunning ritual stunned you. It's proof Vikings played love like war, where every tryst was a gamble for supremacy. Number 8. Seeress seduction oracles. Imagine a Viking seeress, cloaked in shadows, using seduction to divine a clan's fate. The Voluspa in the Poetic Edda describes Volvas luring lovers to unlock prophetic visions through intimacy. Picture a ritual in a misty fjord, her chants blending with passionate acts. This wasn't just seduction, it was a gateway to the gods. Hedeby's amulets, etched with seeress runes, confirm these rites. Could you bare your soul for prophecy? Judith Jesh says Volvas wielded unmatched power, their visions shaping Viking wars. Think of it as a psychic hotline, but with divine hookups. One vision could crown kings or curse them to oblivion. These oracles were intense. The Eyrbygja saga tells of a Volva seducing a warrior to foresee his clan's victory. her trance fueled by intimacy. Clans relied on these visions, making seeresses revered yet feared. Oseberg's ritual artifacts, like carved wands, tie sex to prophecy. Price notes vulvas were untouchable, their lovers risking divine wrath. Imagine a night of passion unlocking a vision that saves or dooms your people. Could you trust a lover's prophecy? This wasn't just sex, it was a sacred transaction blending desire with destiny. Vikings saw love as a portal to the divine, where one night could change history. It's a ritual modern psychics couldn't touch. But danger loomed. A false vision, as the Laxbala saga recounts, led to a chieftain's death when a vulva's lever misled her trance. Runestones from Denmark warn of cursed seeresses, their rituals backfiring. Jesh says these women balanced power and peril, their bodies bridges to the gods. Picture a seeress's ritual under a stormy sky, her lover's fate in her hands. This custom reveals Viking love as a mystical gamble, where passion unlocked truths or triggered ruin. Would you risk a divine hookup? Drop a comment if this otherworldly ritual shocked you. Vikings turned love into prophecy, making every embrace a cosmic roll of the dice. Number 9. Funeral love offerings. Picture a Viking widow standing by her husband's burning pyre, offering her body to honor his soul. The Ynglinga saga describes funeral love offerings, where widows slept with kin to send warriors to Valhalla. Imagine a fiery grave, her act sealing his afterlife glory. Birka's burial goods, like intimate carvings, suggest these rites were common. Could you honor the dead this way?
Neil Price says these offerings tied sex to spiritual duty, ensuring eternal glory. Think of it as a Viking funeral with a scandalous twist. One act could immortalize a warrior or shame a clan forever. These rites were raw. The Gesta Danorum recounts a widow coupling with her husband's brother by the pyre, believed to guide his soul. Clans watched, ensuring the ritual's sanctity. Oseberg's ship burial with paired skeletons hints at such offerings. Jesh notes women gained respect, their sacrifice uniting clans. Picture a widow's act under flickering flames, her grief transformed into divine duty. Failure risked the warrior's afterlife, a heavy burden. Could you perform under that pressure? This wasn't just mourning, it was a sacred pact, blending love with loss. Vikings saw sex as a bridge to Valhalla, where passion secured eternity. It's a ritual that makes modern funerals look tame. The stakes were brutal, a flawed offering as the Heimskringla tells could curse the dead, dooming them to wander. Gotland's runestones honor widows who succeeded, their names etched in glory. Price says these rites showed Viking love as duty, not just desire. Imagine risking shame to save a loved one's soul. This custom reveals love as a final act of power, where intimacy defies death. Would you make that sacrifice? Comment if this haunting ritual blew your mind. Vikings turned grief into glory, making every offering a defiant stand against oblivion. From sacred marriages to funeral offerings, Viking love was a saga of power, faith, and survival. These 9 practices, divine unions, trial breakups, concubine deals, bloody rites, combat divorces, seduction pacts, adulterous plots, prophetic trysts, and funeral tributes, reveal a world where passion shaped destinies. Which shocked you most? Share below and subscribe for more epic secrets.